So this will be a two-part video, starting off with me showing you the items in my Splatoon collection. And then afterward we will flip through some of the art books to look at some artwork that may be related to Splatoon Raiders. So, starting off here, we have Splatoon on the Wii U. This is the first game in the series, and I actually did not have this game at launch. I didn't own a Wii U until kind of a little more recently, so I did not get to experience this at the height of its popularity, which is unfortunate. I started my love of the franchise with Splatoon 2. I played a lot of that, and I played Splatoon 3 the most. It's one of my most played games. I think I actually preferred Splatoon 2 over 3 for a variety of reasons, but they're both very fun. To go along with Splatoon 1, I also have the Amiibo of the idols from Splatoon 1. So we've got Callie and Marie. I keep most of my Amiibo sealed. I'll probably have to open them eventually, because I think the plastic on them can start to fog or yellow with age, but so far I like the look of them sealed. Callie and Marie are a lot of people's favorite idol group because they first played Splatoon 1. I think they are great characters. They've been in all of the games so far. I'm sure they'll probably make an appearance in Raiders as well, but I guess we'll see. I did not watch the direct that they did for Raiders because I didn't want too many spoilers going into it, so if I make any guesses and I am wrong, or they've already announced it in the direct, then I am sorry. I only have Splatoon 1 physically. I got digital copies of Splatoon 2 and 3 because Nintendo used to let you do this thing where you had one Switch as your primary and another as the where you would log in on your main account, and then you could both play one copy of the game, you and like a friend or something, or family member. And I used to do that, so I got digital copies so that, I and a family member could play and only have to buy the game once. They got rid of that, but I never did buy physical copies of 2 and 3. Okay, next let's look at some Splatoon 2 stuff. I have this Figma It looks like a dually, but it's just one dually. There are two dualies. I don't know where the other one is in the package. And then there's a splatter shot. The roller. Some of the clothing. Ink tanks. What is that? Burst bomb or something. This is a pretty neat set. Alongside that, I do have the Off the Hook Figma as well. This is Splatoon 2, and it's Pearl and Marina, the idols from Splatoon 2. They come with alternate face plates. They come with the furniture for their Splatcast, Pearl's chair, and Marina's DJ booth. Some alternate hands. Microphone for Pearl. I began playing Splatoon with Splatoon 2. Since I started playing Splatoon with Splatoon 2, I think that's a big reason why Pearl and Marina are my favorite idols. Off the Hook is the best idol group, if you ask me. I love their energy. I love that Pearl is just a little gremlin of a character. They've got really cute outfits. I like them. Okay, as you may have guessed, I do have the Amiibo for Pearl and Marina. They're doing their signature pose. Don't get cooked, stay off the hook. Very cute. Also, for Splatoon 2, I have a couple books. And I will show these a bit more from a different angle because this is pretty heavy. But I have the Art of Splatoon 2. As well as Hikara Walker. This was a Japanese exclusive art book, basically, that predominantly features the DLC Octo expansion. I wish that I had gotten an English release, but it is sadly Japanese only. And then I have a couple manga as well. I have a couple volumes of this Squid Kids comedy show. I think these were releasing around the time of Splatoon 2. Is it got 2020 in here? There is a Splatoon manga that's more revolving around, I think, Splatoon 1. This one, I think, was coming out around Splatoon 2. The Splatoon 1 manga is more like a full continuing story. This one is these little 4-panel comics. And they're very silly. They're mostly I have volume 6. The reason I wanted 6, I don't know if they're worth owning, like a full set of these, but I did want 6 because of this cover art. It is Salmon Run, which was a 4-player PvE mode that they added in the Splatoon 2, and it is by far my favorite game mode. And Splatoon Raiders is kind of like a single-player Splatoon game, from what I gather. There is an option to play it multiplayer, but you can play single player, whereas Salmon Run in Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, there's no single player option. You have to play with 3 other people to make a team of 4, which is fun. I like the coordination, it's really cool, but sometimes if your teammates aren't pulling their weight, it can make it pretty challenging. So I'm excited to see how a Salmon Run that was designed around single player feels to play. Could be pretty cool. Let me make some room here. So we've got our idol group from 1, our idol group from 2, and also our idol group from Splatoon 3. I believe in some areas like Japan they released a triple pack that comes with them all in one box. But I have the individual releases. So Splatoon 3, the idols were Shiver, sorry, I tried to dust these. Fry, and Big Man. Big Man is the first male idol character in Splatoon. Well, they're the first of like the main idol group to have a man in the group. This group here is known as Deep Cut, and I think they are going to feature as main characters in Splatoon Raiders, and you can bring one of them along with you when you're doing missions, and they will help you with like their special abilities or something. I initially was kind of mixed on how I felt about Deep Cut because I felt like they didn't get a lot of story in their own game. The main story of Splatoon 3, the single player campaign, mostly featured Marie and Callie, and the DLC mostly featured Marina and Pearl. So it was unfortunate that these characters got very little characterization. So I'm really hoping Splatoon Raiders fleshes them out a bit more. They did grow on me throughout my time playing Splatoon 3, so I do really like them now, but not as much as Pearl and Marina. story mode, the like single player mode, you use a small fry to do some like attacks and stuff. This is a little baby salmonid, and you can see some salmon eggs in the ink as well. Usually the salmonids are enemies, but this small fry is your friend. You can also see them around the like hub world. You're a little small fry, and you got to choose the hair that you wanted on it. Like I was saying, the main story features Callie and Marie, and these are the outfits that they wear in that single player campaign. They are reminiscent of their default outfits, but a little bit different. Color and style, slightly different than their default. I really like these outfits. I think I like these more than their default outfits. We're out of room here, but I have just one more amiibo. This last one, the package got damaged in shipping, which is a shame. But it is Pearl and Marina, and this is their outfits. Or these are their outfits from the side order DLC. I love these outfits. They look so good in these outfits. Pearl and Marina are just adorable. So that's all of my amiibo, and they are releasing new amiibo for Deep Cut with Splatoon Raiders, and yes, I will be getting them. Probably shouldn't, there's only so much room, but yep, I will get them. One of the new things they introduced in Splatoon 3, since there were 3 idols, these Splatfests were 3-way, so usually you pick one side or another, cats versus dogs type of thing. But in Splatoon 3, there are 3 different teams that you can choose from. One of the early Splatfests they did was a collaboration with Pokemon, and you could choose grass, fire, or water. I think maybe I picked water, because this was also around the time of Scarlet and Violet, so you can see Quaxley, Fuecoco, and Sprigatito on those. And I think since I decided to use a Quaxley, I think I picked water. And this was a My Nintendo reward, so you could use your points to get this for free. And the last items to show are just some books, and then we will do the flip through of some of the books. There is a Splatoon 3 manga, and I just have volume 1. I don't know if I will collect any more of this series. I might read it, but I don't know if I need to own the full thing. But I wanted at least one volume in my collection. So, like I mentioned, Splatoon Raiders seems to be heavily inspired by Salmon Run, which is the co-op versus waves of enemies game mode that they added in Splatoon 2. In Splatoon 2, it was limited time only. You could only do it when it was available, when Grisco was open for you to go and work for them. I don't know why they did it like that, but it made it a more exclusive mode so you can just play whenever you wanted. And you can see this is the Salmon Run character there on the artwork. Since Raiders is Salmon Run inspired, we're just going to be looking at some Salmon Run artwork. Starting off here, this is some key art for Salmon Run in Splatoon 2. You can see the outfit that the characters wear when working for Grisco. This is Grizz. Some of the salmonids that you're fighting, like regular salmonids, moths, stinger. I love the aesthetic of Salmon Run stuff. I love that you're working for a shady and corrupt business, doing dirty work with less than ideal gear. I would say that the PPE, the personal protective equipment, given to you by Grisco in Splatoon 2 is less than adequate. Just wearing some waders and gloves and a standard trucker hat. But I like that. They give you better gear in Splatoon 3, but I think that loses a little bit of the vibe of what Grisco was. Here we have some other early concept work of how the life preserver worked, how you would fall into an ink puddle and then your preserver would rise up and then your teammates could revive you. It also doubles as an ink tank and I guess triples as an egg storage device. Looks like they also experimented with maybe having a different outfit for female employees versus male employees. But in the final version, I think they wear the same outfit, which I'm glad that they just get to wear the same thing. This character section we have Mr. Grizz. It says a statue carved from wood in the shape of the salmon's mythical ancient enemy, the bear. Yeah, because Splatoon is set in the future and mammals endless square. Grisco is in a back alley. So, some concepts of like posters and artwork. Early ideas of what the room would look like. Grisco concept art. Lobby concept. Logo designs. This fishery slash trading company mainly deals in the exchange of salmon eggs, a valuable resource. The Inkopolis Square office only opens during the Salmon Run season and offers work in the form of collecting salmon eggs. The only people present in the office are the part-timers who gather directly on the ship, so no one has actually seen Mr. Grizz's face. I guess this, there's an in-world reason why Grisco isn't always open. That doesn't make for the best gameplay though, you want to be able to play the mode whenever you want. But it's maybe a bit more immersive into that they're not always open. And then starting here is a fairly long section on Salmon Run. I'm not going to read all of this because it goes on for several pages, but we get some concept art here. This is pretty colorful. Salmon Run now is very much the kind of salmony orange. That's the predominant color of the game mode. And the green. It's very orange and green. There's a variety of different maps that you play on. So this is the spawning grounds concept. Some of the concepts for the items, the buoys in the background. This is Mariner's Bay. Got the egg basket, the crane. Egg collection unit. Lost Outpost. This is more Lost Outpost. I apologize if you can hear that car. There's a car idling right outside my window, but I'm sorry about that. Some more concept art here. This looks like it maybe is an early design for the steelhead. Squids, salmon, and octopuses. Concept art here. Different designs for salmon. That's a griller. Some different iterations of steelhead. special waves. Griller is only in the Griller wave, and it can be really hard to do Griller because of all the small fry that spawn. Mothership is like a freebie mode. It's pretty easy to succeed in that, in those waves. So that's the full section on Salmon Run. There's just a couple more things to look at in here. Okay, these sunken scrolls, these are like a collectible in the single player campaign. You get these artworks and some information, and there's a variety of them in the game about different things about the world of Splatoon. People get really into deciphering the lore of these games because they hide a lot of information. But these ones here are related to Salmon Run. No hiring at collectors, no experience required, all ages and backgrounds welcome. Fun way to make some quick G. Grab a friend and join up together. This is kind of neat. It's like a foretelling of the Big Run event that happens in Splatoon 3. So that's those things. It's fun how much they put into the lore and how much things end up carrying over between games. Things that maybe didn't make sense in one game, you figure out in the next one the significance of it. So we may be getting a lot more of that with Raiders as well. It's the salmonid graffiti. A lot of this you could spend your currency, your Salmon Run currency. What did you earn? Scales, gold and silver, scales and bronze, right? And you turn them in for these stickers and put them in your locker. That's all of the Salmon Run related stuff in this book. Then we have this one, this Splatoon 2 art book. Salmon Run. Wish I could read it. I wish they released these in English, but they did not. And let's do a flip through of this art book. I think since Deep Cut are going to be pretty involved in the story of Raiders, I imagine more of the art and stuff from 3 is relevant to Raiders. So this is some key art. Here we've got some Salmon Run. I had this as my phone background for a while. You can see there's a new outfit. They give you a hard hat and a more full body, like boiler suit type thing. Got more, like a headlamp and stuff. It's still not the safest gear, but I liked the idea of how Grisco didn't care about its employees. They just want to make money fast. Because that's how businesses are, right? This was the key art for the Pokemon event. So you got water, grass, fire. This was the first Splatfest. I think this launched, it was like a test before the game actually came out. You could download it and do this Splatfest of gear, grub, and fun. If you're like stranded on an island type thing. And then this was sour, sweet, and spicy. The first Splatfests. Lot of early, promotional artwork type stuff. These are the Amiibo characters that I have. Since this is paperback, I'm sorry about the spine. It's a little hard to get that to be super visible without like bending this too much. And I don't like breaking the spines of my books. Salmon Run. Better look at the outfit. This is the story mode. Outfit. Lockers. That was a new feature. You could decorate your locker. There's the main character. Main character of the single player mode. You could be male or female. The character they used for the promotional artwork was female though. Some concept arts. A lot of the concept art for Splatoon is really cool. Sometimes pretty punk and edgy. Salmon Run stuff here. This is the, what is it called? Is it just Grisco Stringer? Grisco has illegally modified weapons that take a feature of the weapon and make it, overkill. So the Grisco Stringer fires 8 shots instead of 3. It's pretty cool. these designs are pretty different than what they had landed on. Really like this one. And this one. Oh, her eyes are cool. Love the eyeliner. I think the designs they landed on are great, but it is really cool to get to see some of the things they considered. These are the shopkeepers. I wasn't as big a fan of the shopkeepers from 3. I liked 2. Splatoon 2's. Harmony is a fan favorite though, and I do like her. She's really cute. Spike. She is evil. These are some single player stuff and artwork. Designs for the outfits for them. Pearl and Marina, of course. I'm surprised to ask their DLC outfits. It's interesting. Small fry. Krusty Sean. You had to use the app to get his stuff. Weapons. Crab tank. Section here on the gear. This was one of the Salmon Run gears that you could earn. I did not like the Salmon Run gear in this game versus 2. For Splatoon 2, it was a lot of like work-related stuff. You could get like the coat that the Squid Research Lab wears. I don't know, I found the gear to be a lot cooler. And in 3 it was all like 80s movie references. And I'm actually a big movie person. I love watching movies, a variety of different ones from different countries and from throughout history. But I'm not a very big fan of American 80s movies, especially the ones that they picked to reference for the Salmon Run gear. Very popular movies. If you like that kind of stuff, that is fantastic. No problem with that. many stages that the individual idols perform on. Then these are some of the Turf War levels. Splatoon has such a unique mixture of aesthetics. You get very like summery, beachy vibes. You get shipping container chaos and stuff. And you also get like post-apocalyptic, almost Mad Max style environments as well. It's pretty cool. This is all story mode, single player campaign stuff. And here we get the boss, final boss of the story mode, Kumasan, which is it's Grizz, right? He is alive. He is actually a bear. Here are the sunken scrolls for this game. Alternate logs. Some more Salmon Run. So they tied like Grizz into the main story, made him like a villain, and so they expanded on Salmon Run a lot in Splatoon 3, tied Grizz into like the main story. There's a bunch of lore and stuff that goes along with it. And now we're getting basically a Salmon Run spin-off title. There's some of the different levels. They added a lot of levels as the game progressed, and I was very happy about that because it started off with not very many maps. Here we've got some of the new Salmonids. So there's these snatchers that take away all of your eggs if you leave them sitting around. Fish stick, they plant in one location and then just circle around and make a circle of ink around them. Flopper. What are these called? Flipper. Oh, I can't remember. Salmonid that is disguising itself to look like a dolphin. Mud put so much time into this game and I don't remember somehow. My memory is so bad anymore. There's some graffiti art. Salmon Run graffiti art. These are the ones you could get in your locker. They're also all around like the levels as well. Like the Salmon Run levels. You can find all these signs and drawings all over. Rough sketches. Cover art there. These are table turf. Oh, I wanted to love table turf, but I feel like they didn't do enough with it. There should have been a card shop where you could buy cards. They shouldn't have made it so incredibly grindy to earn the rewards. It should have been easier to play against people, and I think they should have made a couple different modes. The game got pretty stale pretty quickly because it was just the same thing every time, and there were just, there was a set strategy, and you kind of just do that every time, and I wanted to love it, and I put a lot of time into it, but it could have been so much better. And they never expanded on it really. I mean, they added a couple opponents and stuff, but overall it didn't really get much. These are storyboards of various cutscenes. That's the Splatoon 3 art book. And lastly, we'll just quickly flip through this Call-Out Walker. Like Hiker Walker, it's meant to look kind of like a magazine, and it also features a lot of stuff that was either released later or DLC stuff, DLC related things. So we've got Side Order. This is the DLC mode. I love the concept art for Side Order. I don't think they quite pulled off the spooky or like unsettlingly sterile environment in the actual game mode. Here's Oct, an shops. It was pretty neat, and you can still go to it by scanning an Amiibo, I believe. Some other costume ideas. Day 2, Day 3. On Day 3, they were all on the main stage. Graffiti, festival graffiti. These are the, because as part of the DLC, you could go to the old Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 main hubs and go back to the shops and stuff. Gear. It would be neat if they had like a full catalog of all of the gear. But I don't think this is. The gear of Splatoon 3 was not as good as 2. I feel like there were more outfits in 2 and more variety. They never gave us our Halloween ones. The Halloween special outfits from 2 were a lot of people's favorite things, and they never brought them back. They added these, but they're not as good. These are Amiibo outfits. Outfits you can earn, or like clothing and stuff you can earn for doing side order. Advertisement for cereal. Some more concept stuff here for like stage design. Stuff for like stages that they added in. This is artwork for the various bands. Splatoon also has a very strong music focus. I mean, the idols are always some of the main characters, but there's tons of different music, all like by different fictional bands, and the bands all have characters that are in them, and each band has its own musical style. They put Is this new? It must be one of the new maps, right? I don't remember which maps they started with and which ones they added. I liked that map. Ouroboros. Ugh, my least favorite probably. Oh, although this one. What was this one called? I can't remember. But yeah, Ouroboros and this one. Giant Moss. What was it called? They were added later. Here's some different outfits you can get. It's always the same outfit, just different colors. And they also let you get the classic outfit, and I was so happy. I bought the classic one and I never took it off. It's my favorite one. Silly holiday vacation ads from Big Man. Extra concept art here in the back. I love the way they format this. Make it look like a magazine. Rusty Shawn. This is her laptop, Marina's laptop, and this was her background art. These are her diary entries that you earn in side order. And table turf art. They added new table turf cards, so that's probably what these all are. It's the added cards. So yeah, they did add new cards to table turf. But otherwise it was basically a mostly forgotten game mode. Okay, that is all of my Splatoon stuff that I have. And we, got to, at least I got to reminisce. I don't know if you played Splatoon 3 or anything, but it's pretty fun looking through this again and remembering all the time I spent playing this game. And getting excited to play the new Splatoon game. I hope it ends up being fun. I've had a really hard time staying invested in games this year. I've only beaten one game, and it was Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I didn't even really like it. And games that I like a lot more I haven't been able to finish, so I'm really hoping that Raiders is the game that kind of gets me to focus and that I feel excited about playing, and hopefully I'll beat it. So, thanks for